I've received a special request from Danplays. He asked me to do an in-depth case-specific situation where I use the HAPA model to further explain all of the processes that go on in the model. So, tag along. The case study that I'll use for this specific example will be that of smoking. I believe I used healthier eating habits in the other video, but I think using smoking as an example is way easier to understand because it doesn't require a lot of pre-knowledge. So we're going to use that. Action self-efficacy is just whether you think that you can carry out the specific behavior. So if we use smoking, to what degree do I believe that I can stop smoking? Or to what degree do I believe that I cannot stop smoking? These are related to your own belief about whether you think you can do something or can't do something. The outcome expectations can be both positive and negative. What do I think I will get out of not smoking? Well, if I stop smoking, I will be able to breathe easier, I won't wheeze, I won't cough as much. But what about the negatives of stopping smoking? Well, then it will be harder during social situations. What about if I go to a party and all of my friends smoke? It will be really tough to not smoke because I'm used to it. So it's all of the positives and the negatives you can think of stopping or doing a certain behavior, like stopping smoking. Risk perception is related to health status and only health status, and it has to be negative. So if you smoke, then you think, okay, what will happen to me if I keep smoking? What will happen to my health? Well, you might get lung cancer or cancer in your mouth or cancer in your throat. You might have the constant inflammation in your lungs, which can develop to obstructive lung diseases. That is all of the negative health related things that you can come up with. I want to point out specifically maintenance efficacy because it goes from action efficacy over to maintenance efficacy. So it actually skips the whole intention stage, but it is vital to note it because the maintenance efficacy also has a little bit to do with whether I think I can do something because it stems from that. But if you've decided over here in action self-efficacy, okay, I believe I can stop smoking, and then you put in your intentions and everything and you go straight into the maintenance efficacy, then you ask yourself the question, okay, I know I can stop smoking, but in the maintenance efficacy, to what degree do I believe I can stop smoking if it's a big challenge, if it's actually really difficult? So this is about, can I stop smoking? Yes, no. This is, can I stop smoking if it's hard? Yes, no. So this asks about your self-confidence in terms of actually doing the thing when you overcome, or not when you overcome, but when you encounter barriers and challenges. Other studies like to call it coping self-efficacy, but it can also be used as maintenance efficacy. You can use both of those words. If you're reading a scientific study, they will usually paint it out for you which word they're using and if there are any synonyms, and whether if they use them like synonymously or they use them where they mean two different things, but they will paint out the picture for you, and that's different for every systematic review or study. That's up to the individual. Next step is intention. Intention is just what kind of action would I like to do. So I would like to stop smoking. That is it. That is my intention. I would like to stop smoking. Nothing else. That is my intention. We go over into planning mode, and this is where it becomes more detailed. The first step you start off with is action planning. This is a plan that includes when, where, and how. So in our intention phase, or intention, we would like to stop smoking. Boom. That's a statement, that's an intention. How do we put not smoking into action. So you could say, my action plan is when I want to stop, not when I want to stop smoking, but when I feel the urge to stop not to stop smoking, when I feel the urge to smoke, I will grab my cup and fill it with water. So here you've explained, when are you going to do it? You're going to do it when you want to smoke. How are you going to do it? You're going to take your cup, and then you need to figure out like where. Well, you could say, okay, when I'm at home and I want to smoke, I grab my cup and I fill it with water. Or when I'm at work, when I'm at work and when I feel the urge to smoke, I will get up from my chair, walk to the end of the hall, and I'll go back to my desk and sit down. This is when, where, and how. You need to be specific. The more specific you are, the better it will be in order to carry it out. And you will be clear on what you need to do, when, and how. It's not like if you just say, I would like to stop smoking over in the intention phase. Well, yeah, you want to stop smoking, but what do you actually need to do? You just know you want to stop. So if you sit in a situation, like a social situation, you're at a party, and you think, oh, I'd love to stop smoking. And then people go outside, and you go outside with them, and they start smoking. And you just stand there, and then you have to use self-control, like, oh, am I going to stop smoking? Oh, well, I did want to stop smoking, but now they're there smoking, and I feel the urge, and I really want to. And then you start using all of this self-control, and it's just so hard, and you use so much of your prefrontal cortex to navigate the situation. So a better way of doing it would be, I want to stop smoking, but I know I have a party coming up. Okay, well, action planning. I want to stop smoke, and when I'm at the party, that's the when. Oh, not the when, the where. When I'm at the party and people go outside to smoke, I will say, no thank you, and I will go over to the people who are not smoking, or maybe something, like, it can be something silly. Like, you can walk over to someone's bookshelf and study what they have on their bookshelves. That could be a way of doing it. Then you know, okay, well, when I'm at the party, that's where. And when are you going to do it? You're going to do it when people get up and go outside to smoke. And how are you going to do it? Well, you're going to go up and you're going to go over to the bookshelf and you're going to look at books. No matter the amount of precise planning, there will always be one time where you don't follow plan A, whatever you have planned here. You might smoke, in case you don't do that, where you go up and walk out to the bookshelf and you accidentally do it. There's no point beating you up about it, because it's tough to break such a habit, and it's just tough to create or break habits in general. And people will generally get it wrong a couple of times, even more than a couple of times. Everyone gets things wrong. So this is where you need the coping planning. The coping plan is your plan B. So that would sound exactly like plan A, the action plan, when, where, and how. But it will start off with, if I can't perform plan A, or whatever you've written for plan A up here in action planning, then I will ... And then you will put in the when, where, and how as well. So you will say, if we take this as an example, action planning. I want to stop smoking. This is my intention. The action planning is, when people go out to smoke, I will say, no thank you. I will get up and I will go over to the bookshelves and I will look at the books. If people at the party then get up, go out, and you don't say no thanks, and you go out with them, and you accidentally have a cigarette, you could say that in your coping planning, oh, if I accidentally smoke a cigarette, and I notice myself smoking a cigarette, I will put it down and throw it out when I am aware that I am smoking a cigarette. that could be a way of coping planning. And the coping planning you only use when it goes wrong, and then you go straight back to action planning. So it's like you fall off your horse, you get back up, you fall off again, you get back up. If there are certain things that you feel are not working, either you can try to make your action plan or coping plan more clear and concise, or you can try and make more action plans or coping plans for different situations. The more plans you have for different situations and the more coping plans you have for different situations, the better suited you are to encounter and overcome these barriers, because your brain knows exactly what to do because you've written it all out and you've rehearsed it and you've planned it and you've imagined it. So you don't need to use as much self-control, and you won't drain your prefrontal cortex as much as if you didn't have a plan in place. The last box here is what I like to call a sum up, because this is what it would look like in real life. You don't see all of these steps, the small white bubbles, in real life, but they are a part of it, and it's very important that you actually use it. It's paramount, in fact, because it's very concise and it's very clear and it helps you out. But the initiative is basically just intention. You start off with wanting to do something. Maintenance is just your action planning. It's what you intend to do to carry out the initiative. And the recovery is you doing the coping planning. And you just go around and around and around and around. And the reason why they've put initiative in here is because some people might go from initiative to maintenance to recovery and then think, maybe I didn't actually want that. And then you don't have an initiative. But if you have an initiative to stop smoking and you keep trying and you keep trying and you keep trying, you will go around in circles like this until you end up either becoming completely free of all the urges of the nicotine withdrawals, but most people don't. It really depends on the individual, and it also depends on how long you've been smoking and what you've been smoking, due to the nicotine intake is quite different from cigarettes to cigars and e-cigarettes and stuff like that. So it's very individual. But this is basically just a mini sum up of what you're doing here. And it's what it would look like if you looked at it from outside. I hope that this helped you understand some more things, and Dan, I hope this helped you as well. Since you've requested it, it was really fun to make, so I'm glad that you did. And if you've got some other requests or other people have got other requests, please keep them coming, because I think it's very enjoyable, and I like that you're interacting with all of it. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.